Hello, my beautiful people. I am back. Sorry for the long break. I was just pretty busy living, surviving, and I come back with more realizations that can probably really help somebody else, which is why I like to do this, right? And um, recently, recently I discovered the inner child pain, and I guess you can say like disappointment. And I've never heard it explained the way it came to me. And I figured, oh my God, let me share this because I've felt it time and time again. I just didn't know what was happening. And so now that I felt it and I was really dissecting it, trying to figure out what's happening, it made sense. So this is about your inner child and the stages that our inner child may go through when exploring a new relationship, right? Um, Imagine you are 6 or 7 years old, and if you've been hurt before, that inner child of yours is hiding behind your big sister because you've been hurt and something happens with the pain where it feels like a different entity comes in and takes over for protection. And the way I want to explain it is, let's say you've been hurt, and so you've been working on yourself, and now you're single, and inner child is put away because you're doing all the work of the healing and making sure that little girl is happy again, right? So big sister's in charge. She's front and center, and you meet somebody. And first, big sister's the one that's interviewing or dating this person, right? And she's getting to know this person. And your inner child is like peeking out, trying to see, like, oh, he sounds kind of interesting. Like, oh, what's going on over there? And big sister's like, hold on, I'm trying to see if it's safe. Hold on. Big sister continues, and then while big sister's talking to this guy and she's hearing all the things about this person, the inner child hears certain things that make her excited. So she starts like, wait, no, he's doing that too. Like, oh my God, we can do it together. And oh my God, if he did that, that would be so cool. And so the inner child keeps peeking out and like trying to check out the new guy. And, sometimes it works to where not that it works, but sometimes it's as your inner child is peeking out and then she hears the interesting words that she's hearing, she wants to come out, right? She's like, oh my God, he sounds so cool. I want to go play with him. I want to play with him. I want to get to know him too. And so the sister's like, okay, like I haven't checked him out all the way. Like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Like he checks out. Like I want to explore it. I want to play with him. And so little girl comes out and she's all in because once your inner child is there, it's when you feel safe. So think of past relationships where you find yourself so giddy and you feel like a little girl, like just wanting to jump in his arms and be with him and text him. And, it's like the whole like high school feeling, like, first love and all that stuff. And I feel like that's the sign that that's your inner child all in, so excited and even so in love with the whole idea and the person, right? And she's there, she's out. And when she starts to see the reality of things, or when she starts to realize that words are not matching actions, she starts looking back at big sister like, hey, didn't he say he was gonna do this and that? And then big sister's like, yeah, but everybody works differently. Like things take time. Like, okay. Then she'll continue. And then more time goes by and things are still not showing up to be the way or the reason why the inner child came out to play, right? And so she looks back at big sister again and she's like, hey, he's still not doing it. Like, I don't know anymore. I thought we were on the same path. I thought we were going to the same playground. And then finally something happens where it's more clear that that person is definitely not on the same path or not what you were seeing or potentially expecting maybe. And then when that happens, she's really reaching and she's holding out her hand for big sister. And cause now she's scared. Now she's kind of like preparing to go back behind her sister. And and then I don't know if I mean I'm sure some other people have explored this or felt this, but there's a moment when you're feeling disappointed from a relationship and you feel physical pain in your chest and it feels like heartache and it's in my opinion the realization of what you thought was going to be is not. And and so what I felt is like the inner child in me was like crying out for like clarity, for confirmation, for a sign that she was overthinking or something. And um and I'm looking back at my little older sister and I'm like, hey, I'm sad. Like, I'm really sad. I really feel like I need to see him. And then the big sister's like, well, go ahead and text him, babe. Like, go ahead and text him. He said he loves you. Um, so I'm sure if you let him know that you need to see him, he'll come see you. Like, give him a chance. Like, tell him that you need to see him. And so the little girl vulnerably lets him know, like, hey, my chest hurts. I feel like I really need to see you. And from that moment, the time that goes by from the moment it is said to the moment it happens where he comes or doesn't, it's like the little girl is holding her breath. Like, okay, he might come. He might come. Okay, just wait. No, you're overthinking. He might come. He might come. And then the moment you realize that he's not coming, it's like the little girl just shuts down completely and she just puts her head down and she just walks quietly behind her sister again because she realized this is not it. And then big sister gets mad because she's like, God damn it, motherfucker, you said you loved her. Like, I let her play with you and you didn't take care of her. Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you show up? Like, why would you say something and not do it? Like, did you mean it? Or is that just like your hope that this is what you want to become or be? And so after that pain of the heartache comes that anger because it's no longer that happy little girl who was like all in, so excited and so into you and was willing to do anything to like hang out with you. Um, that little girl is gone now. She's hiding behind her big sister, and her big sister, she's a bitch. She's a bitch because now she has to protect her little sister because she thought you were cool and she thought she was safe playing with you and you fucked up. So now sister's like, all right, fuck you. I'm going to take her back and then I'm going to hang out with her. So goodbye. And, um, and then it's going back to work, going back to the gym or getting back to the things you were doing when you were single, your hobbies and stuff, all the things that you were kind of like letting go slowly because of how much you were having fun with this person. It all comes back because now it's like big sister's entertaining the little girl again. So she doesn't feel lonely. She doesn't feel sad, hurt, let down, you know? And this time I was really like, damn, like, why do I feel so much anger? Why am I so mad? Like, I get so mad after I feel so much pain, like literal physical pain. And this has happened to me in past relationships where I'm all in. I'm so excited. I'm so giddy. I feel like a little girl. And that's all good. When someone is able to bring out your inner child, that I feel like that's when they feel truly safe, you know? And they always say like when you feel like a baby around your man, then you are around a man. But if you feel like a mom when you're with your partner, then you have a child, a man child. So it's good. It's good to feel that inner child come out and she wants to play and she's so giddy and she's so happy. What I want to talk about is, for everyone that is in a relationship, to be careful with that inner child, because I feel like once you hurt or disappoint that inner child, you really got to like do better to fix it and show up so that she never feels that again and she knows you're there and you're on the same path. Because in my experience, that inner child is the happiest version of me. And once you disappoint that little girl, it's hard to convince her that it's okay. He was just not there yet, but he could be. And I've seen it happen with guys too. Like I've seen them be all into a girl and then she breaks his heart and then he goes through the pain and then he gets angry and then he goes back to the gym. It's like Big Brother taking over. Like he's like, you know what? Fuck her. We're going to work out. We're going to look hot. But then Big Brother is like, and you're going to do whatever you want. And that's not always the best answer. Like honestly, if you ever go through a heartbreak, take time for yourself. Get to know like yourself in the process and ultimately loving yourself 100% first is going to help you so much more. So, um, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been experiencing. And I realized like, damn, people need to know that not, not loving, not loving yourself enough to where you understand yourself and what you need is, is a problem. Like you really should know everything and your partner should know like, hey, I need to show up for my person. If I say I'm going to do something, I need to do it. Or if you don't plan on doing something, don't talk about it like you are really trying to do it because honestly, just 1% better every day is enough. Just trying to do better every day, little by little. And if you see or if you're dating somebody that's on a certain path, it's so important to really truly commit to the path that they are trying to stay on because eventually they're going to see if you're not on that path. And if you've said things that you didn't mean, you're also building something with a false foundation, which won't last either. So when you're meeting somebody, I think it's super important to be 100% authentic. Don't hide from who you really are with the people that you're meeting. Own up, own who you are and just accept it. Like if you want it, if you don't like it, then you should be working on changing it. And if you're not ready to change it, then don't talk about it like you are ready to change it. I have this thing too where when I meet people, it's almost like you're standing in front of me, but right next to you is the best version of you. And I'm like, oh my God, bro, if you did, you would be. Or even like friendships when I meet new people and I give them advice or something, I also see like, damn, like if you loved yourself first and more, man, you would be a baddie. Like you would be a baddie because right now, like you don't even know how powerful you are. And so that's something that I'm learning too. I'm learning to see the best version of that person, but also see if they're on that path to become that. Because when you try to talk to somebody and you're truly just trying to help them, but they're not on the path of evolving, you're going to offend them. Everything you say is going to be offensive because if they were truly ready to accept and recalibrate and move over to the right lane and like, oh shit, I never caught that, then they wouldn't be offended. They would just be like, damn shit, that hurt, but it's true, like you're right. Like let me recalibrate and fix that. And I know this from experience, you guys. Like my family tried to always tell me like, oh, you're so hateful. Like your energy is heavy. Like you're always mad and you take everything so serious. And I used to be like, no, fuck you guys. You said this that was fucked up and I reacted. So why would you say something that's messed up? And then if I react, I'm the problem. Until I met somebody that I felt was like it. He was very attractive, and in my opinion, out of my league. And so when I met him and he would tell me about the things he believed in, spirituality and working out and taking care of your body, yourself, all that good stuff, I was all in. I was all in. I was willing and ready to evolve with him to be the best version of myself so that I can be on his lane. Otherwise, I didn't feel like I was there. So it wasn't until I met him that he would check me on a lot of the things that my family would say. And because I loved him and I looked up to him so much, I wouldn't completely just get like offended. I would just be like, ouch, fuck, okay. All right, you're right. Like I didn't see it that way. And he was sometimes kind about it where he would explain it to me and be like, listen, like that's not cool. Like I know what you mean, but words are powerful. And so when you say things like I hate you and you really don't hate me and you're really just like flirting, I still don't like that. I don't like when you say I hate you. And I'm like, okay, I don't mean it. He's like, yeah, I know. I know you don't mean it, but words are powerful and that's not nice. So I was like, well, shit. Okay. So slowly, but every day I was working on things that he would call me out on. And I ended up being with him for 5 years, almost 5 years. So it's like I've seen in myself at least, but I know that when you truly love someone, you're gonna take their word for it and kind of like check that because if your partner isn't telling you things, then who's going to tell you where you're actually going to take it in and say, oh shit, I never saw it that way. My bad. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'll change that. Recalibrate, adjustment, because I've talked about this before where it's like we all do the same shit our family did or our peers did. We use words and we respond and react in the ways that we've been taught. And we won't check it until we see it, which is kind of hard to see for yourself, or until someone that we really love says it and sees it. And then you're like, man, because I love and respect you, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to check that, because I like, if you're saying it, it's for a reason. So, all right, noted. I got it. I'm going to check it. I'm going to clean it up. So I think it's super important to always be authentic and accept who you are and be okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, then change it. Change it. Really try to change it. Um, because you don't want to. I mean, you have to understand that you can't build a relationship with lies or with things that are not exactly true. Like if you're not on the road that the person that you met is in, you have to say, like, be honest and say, like, listen, I've noticed it and I've thought about it, but I don't think I'm there yet, but it's in the works. That way, we all are understanding and that way the little girl can like wait a little bit before she comes out and like gives you like all of it, because it's important not to disappoint the little inner child in us. And I think we all can agree that looking back at your past relationships in the beginning, you were all giddy and happy and in love. And then slowly but surely, there was like disappointment, and disappointment, and disappointment. And then she starts to pull back and pull back. And then finally, it's like pain. And then pain on top of pain because even if it's not like, I mean, there's so many different types of disappointments for relationships, but it's that last disappointment after you've waited and hoped that you were wrong and hoped that he would just show up or she would show up and then she didn't. There's a certain kind of pain that comes with that. And and then once it hits hard, there's a flip of the switch and then there's anger and there's fuck you and I'm done and I'm going to do and I'm. And so as I was going through it, I was just thinking like, why is this hurting? Why is my chest hurting? And then once the realization came in of like, oh, he's not coming. I told him I needed to see him. I told him I was in physical pain and he didn't come. So then it's like, all right, I gotta go. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to play anymore. And then the anger because it's that older big sister. She's a bitch. She's a bitch. She's there to protect her. And so that's where the weight loss comes in, because big sister's cheering on the little girl, like, fuck that. We're going to do this and you're going to look cool and we're going to get you a bike. We're going to get you a motorcycle. You're going to learn how to snowboard and you're going to feel like a bad bitch. And so that's pretty much what happens. And, the way I explained it to myself, I've never heard it explained like that before, you know? And it almost sounds crazy because it makes it sound like there's like multiple personality disorder here. But no, I mean, we all shift into a different version of ourselves to process what's happening or to heal or to just numb it or be okay. And I just really want to express how important it is to love yourself and know the different stages so you can better protect yourself and protect your partner's inner child. Because again, you don't want to disappoint their inner child either. You know what I mean? Show up for them. If you've said something, do it. Because that little girl or that little boy he or she doesn't know any better, doesn't understand. He said that or she said that, but she doesn't know the stages and it takes time or, it is hard. So she might not get there soon, you know, hold on, hold on. And it's crazy because as I was going through this whole experience, I was thinking about talking about how we should just love freely. Like love shouldn't be taboo. Love shouldn't feel like, it's going to take me a few months to figure it out. Like if you feel love, then express it and say it and love freely and love fully. And then I go through this and I was questioning myself, like, did I love too fast? Was I being naive? And I think the main thing to remember is when you don't attach to things to expectations, when you don't attach to like the future, it doesn't hurt as much because you're in the moment. And I think that's what allows you to fall in love deeply at any time because you are fully in the moment. But also being fully in the moment is what protects you from the longer heartbreak, because you didn't run off and go and plan your whole life with this person in 2, 3 months. But you did fully allow yourself to fall in love and to love this person and to be your authentic self and give what you normally give, you know? So, you know, learning has occurred. I feel like I need to remember to not just see someone's potential and where they could be, but also see where they are in that path. Like, are they just looking over at it? Are they walking towards it? Or are they fully in it and they're just ready to walk it with you? And if you're dating anybody that has done a lot of work on themselves and has gone through what everybody calls spiritual awakening and has gone through the dark night of the soul, has been through some really hard times and did it alone, I think it's super important to see and respect their journey to the point where if you're not on that path and you don't think you're ready to just jump in there to make sure you don't miss that train, then respectfully step back and let them keep going. Because if you don't, they will eventually see it. Because we know how much work it took to be on that path. And no matter how much I love you, I will not come off that path. I'm going to stay on that path. And sure, it would be so great if you were like all on board and you jump right in and you're like, okay, where do we start? What do I do? How do I evolve? How do I become the best version of myself? Then that's super exciting for the other person because it's like, oh, great. You're ready? Because I know exactly how to do it. Like, well, not exactly, but I know the steps to get there. So if you're ready, let's go, you know? So, so know yourself, know who you're dealing with because everything that you hide or not, you're not authentic about, it's going to eventually come out, because when it's really who you are, it's going to show every day. Well, that's consistency, if, if that's who I am, I'm going to be doing that a lot every day, no matter what the circumstances are. That's me. That's who I am. It doesn't change. And so I feel like it's super important just to know to know those things for everyone's sake. But then again, if you're healed enough, it's also a beautiful thing to learn and to fall in love. I mean I love love. I talk about this a lot. I love being in love. I think love is a beautiful thing, you know? And it's even more beautiful when if things don't work out, you love yourself so much to know that it's okay. And we just take the lesson from there and we keep going. And I feel no resentment. I feel no hate. I feel nothing but love still. And and that's something that I've learned too with like anybody and everybody in friendships too. It's like, oh, you're not there. That's fine. That's fine. Like, are you ready to be there? Okay, okay, okay. No, you're not. All right, cool. I respect people's journey so much. And I'm not judging you. I'm not criticizing you. If anything, like I'm trying to just like put something out there to see if you're like, oh shit, I never saw it that way. Tell me more, you know? And if I drop that and the response is like, that's messed up, like why would you say that to me? And that hurt. You're rude, you're disrespectful, all this stuff. It's like, oh, okay, my bad. And then that's when I automatically just like take a step back. So if you love somebody, it's the inner child that you need to be careful with because breaking a little kid's heart sucks and it hurts and it's harder to come back from that. Once your big sister or your big brother comes in, it's game over. But yeah, I just wanted to share that and see if it hits anybody and it makes sense. And also it might help you too when you are going through those steps. Remember that there's a little girl that's hurting. So what are you going to do about it? There's a little girl that's getting disappointed over and over again. Your little girl, you in a little girl version or boy version. So don't let that person continue to disappoint that little inner child that's expecting you, an adult, most of the time, to show up, show up for her or him. So remove them from situations where they're not appreciated or loved right. And then after you remove them, help them get better to learn to love themselves again so that people don't hurt them again or for that long. So there's nothing wrong with heartbreaks. They're all teaching us something. And the faster you learn these things, the less it's going to hurt and the less times you're going to be going through that because you know better. And if you've been going through heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, you're missing a lesson. Trust me, you're missing a lesson. So take time to yourself, explore yourself, figure out what it is that you need to be okay, and always love yourself first. And that's all I got about the inner child and relationships. We'll talk soon. Bye.